How do you deal when you make a fool of yourself in front of someone you admire? I'm Marsha from yesyesmarsha.com, and this is another episode of Ask Yes Yes Marsh, where you ask me a question and I answer it. And often you ask it anonymously, because asking questions about networking can sometimes be a little embarrassing. So today's anonymous question asker says, Marsha, I met my business hero and I was a complete dork in front of her. How do you redeem yourself if you are a massive weirdo in front of someone you respect? So you may have seen my video on your dork goblin, D-O-R-K, which is the spirit that comes down and possesses you when you're talking to someone that you want to impress and makes you act the opposite of all those things. If you didn't see it, you can click on it right there. But what I want to talk to you today about is to answer this question. How do you deal if that does happen? And I've got some very practical suggestions for you, but before I tell you them, I want to tell you my most embarrassing networking story. So I had moved from Scotland to London because I really wanted to get a job as a DJ on this radio station called XFM. And I knew one of the producers already, so I had an in, but I went to an event where the guy who basically does the hiring was speaking. So afterwards I went up to go and talk to him. And while I was lining up, I was like, oh, what am I going to say? You know, I've already got an in. Should I just go up and say, oh, I just want to say hi because I know I'm going to meet you again? And then I was like, that's super arrogant. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to tell him the truth. I'm just going to tell him how much I love his radio station. So finally, like, it gets to me in the lineup and I say, Andrew, you know, I just have to say I love XFM. I feel like you put together a board of people and went, what's Marsha's favourite music? We'll put that on the playlist. Who's Marsha's favourite DJs? We'll put them on the roster. And he looked really pleased. He was like, oh, thanks. And then in this moment of madness, I took him by the hand, looked him deep in the eyes and said, I want to meet you again. And he just kind of looked a bit frightened and went, okay. Shook my hand and I walked off just thinking, oh my God. And for like 3 months afterwards, all my friends would sign off their emails to me saying, I want to meet you again. I want to meet you again. Now, lucky for me, that guy actually left the radio station and a different guy hired me a couple of years later. But if that happens to you, because you can't chance that they're going to necessarily leave the job, then here is what you do. First of all, remember, networking is a long-term relationship, not a one-night stand. So that one impression that you give someone is not the only chance that you'll have to wow them. And actually, most of the best networking happens over email in the follow-up. So don't worry too much if you gave a bit of a weird first impression. You can make a really good impression when you follow up over email. And remember, it's all about adding value over time. So if you send good emails where you're adding value to them, then you don't need to worry about how bad the first time you met them was. Number 2, remember, people will always follow your physical cues. So if you act as if what just happened was the most normal thing in the world, people will think that it was too. So if you find that you've done or said something super dorky, just throw your shoulders back, hold your head high, smile warmly, and when you finish the conversation, confidently walk away. And I swear they'll probably forget you ever said anything weird. Finally, remember, one of the golden rules of feeling self-conscious is to say to yourself, no one is thinking about me, everyone's thinking about themselves, just like I am right now. Chances are, if this person is higher status in this interaction, and what I mean by that is like, you need more from them than they need more from you, they're less likely to remember every tiny interaction, every tiny detail of when you've met them. So, don't worry about it too much. No one's thinking about you. Everyone's busy thinking about themselves, just like you are right now. So, to review, networking is a long-term relationship, not a one-night stand, so don't worry too much about one interaction. Secondly, people will always follow your physical cues, so just act with confidence, and everybody will think that everything is okay. And thirdly, no one's thinking about you that much anyway. They're just thinking about themselves, like you are, right now. And if this person is more important to you than you are to them, they probably barely even noticed. Now, over to you. I would love to hear your stories of dorking out in front of VIPs. Remember, sharing is healing. So let me know in the blog over at yesyesmarsha.com. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like on YouTube. You can subscribe. If you know someone that has recently been dorky in front of their hero, you could share it with them. And if you want even more stories and secrets that I won't put on the internet, then come over and join the Yes Yes family over at yesyesmarsha.com. I'm Marsha, and I'll see you there.